All right, hey everybody. Hope you all had a happy holidays. This is Pig Potty here. As you all know, the Snap community has been overwhelmed by the introduction of Zabu. If it's Zabu or Zabu, I'm going to say Zabu. He's an impactful card for sure. I wanted to try him out in my favorite deck, my Negative Surfer list. My list has gone through a lot of changes over the last month or so. Um, I've been unlocking cards. I got to rank 96 with it last season, and I didn't even unlock Brood until the final day of the season. Unfortunately, I couldn't maintain that, and I never got to Infinite with it. But I'm optimistic now with a few changes. Maybe we can get there. So Zabu is a new card. What does Zabu bring to this deck? Essentially, he works to make sure that your Wong is discounted. He does two things. He's just a 3 you can play, but he makes sure your Wong is discounted. Since Wong is so easy to counter, with Cosmo, Arrows, Professor X's, things like that. This makes it so that you can play Wong and at least get one of your battle cries off to make sure something definitely happens. It also occasionally unlocks a turn 4 where you can play Mr. Negative and Wong on the same turn, which unlocks, it just sets you up for future turns so well. An issue this deck runs into is that since it runs no 1 or 2 cost cards at all, you need to have more proactive stuff to do on turn 3. Rogue, Gambit, Ironheart, Mystique, Silver Surfer, these guys are super strong once you have your Wong down or once you have a few cards out. But playing them on 3, they don't really do it. So you want, generally, like Bishop has been my best turn 3 starter. He gets buffed by Surfer later, and when you play all these negativized cards, he gets a lot of power just by himself. I used to run Groot because I didn't have Brood, and I figured he's only off by 2 letters, so maybe he's just as good. He's all right, but now that Brood got here, Groot's out. Zabu replaced Killmonger because I don't really see that many one heavy decks nowadays. Um, I would play Killmonger though, even if there were no ones to kill. You just have to have something to start off on 3 because you're skipping your first 2 turns. So now with Zabu, it's just something you can put down on turn 3. It might help you, it might not, but it will receive Surfer buffs. And of course, Brood is just super powerful. You can start him off on turn 3. You can play him on turn 6 with Silver Surfer to surprise them. They're just so good. Wolfsbane is a card I also used to run, and maybe you don't like Gambit. I love Gambit. I think if you get Gambit on a Wong, especially if you can get Wong onto like Camertage or Onslaught Citadel, or get Mystique on there and get like multiple Wong buffs, Gambit can win a game by himself, but he's kind of inconsistent. So maybe Wolfsbane you want to put in just for that power. So I'm not saying this deck is optimized. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to be like a top deck. I didn't get to Infinite with it, although now with Brood, with Zabu, maybe I can be optimistic. Um, you can also just tell from the card borders I have that I love playing it. It's always fun. It can go really big in some games. As long as you can dodge those certain cards that really shut it down, like Cosmo, it's actually pretty consistent. So I want to get to some games here. Let's play. Let's see how it runs. I started experimenting with Zabu on the first day Zabu was available, and I actually sank a little bit in rank. And I switched back to this deck, and I went from, say, 48 to 62 in about a day. So it was working yesterday. Yeah, well, he probably kills it. Mr. Negative, good to have that. But here's what I talked about. There's no um, proactive card to play on turn 3 this time. So hopefully we find something on our next draw. You can start with a rogue just to have something down. See what we draw. All right, so this is that problem that I spoke of where there's a few cards you want early. You're not in the top half of our deck. So let's just play rogue to get some. We could try Gambit, but I don't want to kill either of these actually. So I have to throw our rogue down. I don't think decks that run Wolverine and Sabretooth are not generally running on reveals anyway, so we'll just have to buffer up with Silver Surfer later. Obviously, now it's Bishop, 1 turn too late. That's okay. We'll play our negative. Now, there's sort of a spacing issue if you play this deck enough. Like, you want Wong to go down and have enough space. We don't have Wong now, but I still think just to keep up with the potential Mojo World condition, we're going to put our Mr. Negative next to Rogue here. Possible. His deck isn't really a swarming deck, so maybe just having more cards on Mojo World will be enough. There's our Zabu. Now this is a game that I would consider to be it's kind of a brick of a game. We didn't get either of our fours. Well, we did get one four. We didn't get Wong. Um, Wong is really important. We didn't get a good starting three. We could play Zabu here and then any other three. So maybe we want to just do. We could also do Iron Man. Let's try to get the max value out. Let's do Zabu and then we'll say Ironheart. The next turn we can play two things. It looks like we're going to need to keep up on Mojo World if we want to a chance there. The space throwing, actually, I'm happy throwing Bishop down there. So if we had drawn him one card earlier, it would have been fine playing Bishop on the space throne. We might draw a Wong and have it only cost one. We have our Mystique. So do we think that, let's put Mystique here, put Gambit here. We also get a 3/3 Bishop. I'm going to put like this and hope for the best. It actually went full on that spot. So that's not good unless Gambit can pick somebody off over on the right or in the mid. Okay. So now it simply comes down to power on Mojo World. Bye, Deadpool. Still won't be enough, unfortunately, but we did win the left lane, so there was potential there. All right, starting off with negative, that's always good. And a Brood is a much better 3 to start with, so I think we'll be in better shape this game. Dream Dimension, always a little frustrating. Well, Elysium kind of fixes it. Okay, so now I think we, oh yeah, so now Elysium is great. Elysium is just always one of my most feels good type of locations. So we could start negatizing our cards. We could rogue this. This is why rogue is really good. In this current meta, Zabu is so prevalent. So let's put down Bishop and Rogue. I don't like abandoning Mr. Negative, as odd as it is. Usually try to build around. And since we have a Brood who can just like take a space, I'm actually going to undo this. This guy here, let's take that Zabu. We can save Brood for the middle lane later. Okay, so this was a good payoff turn for him. Having Elysium along with Zabu is definitely pretty overwhelming. And armor, of course, always messes up Gambit's output. But like this is his big power thing. And Brood Silver Surfer can match what he's got right now. I think we do Brood, and let's go left. We do want this one, right? Maybe we forego this. We do want to at least contest Elysium and hopefully win it. We'll see. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just hope to get close enough with Bishop. And then we go to win Nidavellir. Huh. Okay, so what do we have now? Mystique we just drew. Again, no use for Mystique this game, sadly. But we have two free cards, so we could start with Mystique, we'll say here, and play our entire hand. We could do Ironheart. How about we do Gambit, Ironheart, Surfer like this? Opponent retreated. Okay. So in that case, just having Rogue available to steal his Zabu was all we needed. We don't have Brood. I imagine he's going to fill this up anyway. Not getting the draws that we really needed to showcase the deck. That is part of it for sure. This is an example where Zabu clearly didn't even do anything. So he gets a very expensive rogue. If there's a Wong, and this is frustrating because we're all locked out now. I wish I put a 3 over here. If I knew I was going to get my Wong, I could have put Wong in the middle and played Surfer and just buffed 3 times all these 3s. I didn't do that, did I? Well, we could do Iron Man. Try to do something with Mystique next turn. Okay, so we got Brood. Doesn't help us. We're gonna have to do Wong. Now see if we did Wong and this, actually, this will fill everything else up. I think this does it, right? I'll have 3 Wongs. I'll make a Tiger here and then Tigers over here. It's unconventional, but I think this gets it. Yeah, we don't need this lane, that's fine. In fact, snapping, if I snap knowing this was his play, we probably just make him retreat, right? He doesn't feel that strong. Maybe he would have stayed in. All right. All right, so we have a Wong. I wish we had Silver Surfer. I could just brood here and I could start off with just bishops. Maybe not. Dude, I'm so confused with this play. I thought that rock location was hot, not Bar Sinister. And so let's just drop well, we got a Wong here. We could do a lot of Zabu. Make Wong free next turn. If we get a Silver Surfer, that would be quite good. Now let's just drop Brood here. Now, I don't really love, actually, this White Tiger play if Wong just sits here untouched. Iron Man, we don't have Mystique. We're drawing so clumsily. What do we think here, guys? Gambit's a bit of a brick here, isn't he? White Tiger. Kind of fills up our Bar Sinister, though maybe that's fine. If it hits 2 Bar Sinisters, I don't think it's fine. And what, it would be nice draw something that buffs, like Ironheart. If we filled the middle with Iron Man, that would be nice. If we also, a lot of, not sure what to do here. I'm just gonna play Iron Man here. It opens up a Mystique play. Oh, there's our Surfer. So, I think, what do we think he's going to do? That's the bigger question. Is he going to go big on Bar Sinister? We just put a 3 here. any of these threes, and then Silver Surfer. So this is my old favorite play with this deck. We're gonna win the left. We're adding 24 power there. Now we're gonna add a lot of power here because of Gambit and Iron Man. So I think this is the play. Probably could have snapped if I had Silver. Well, the Gambit will help this hopefully. It's actually impressive. I didn't consider him redoing the claw there. Kill at least one. There we go. He can still hit the armors and just fizzle, which is sad. There we go. That's a good one, right? It's one downside is sometimes I don't even know when I should snap with this deck. I think that kind of sums it up pretty well. You guys get it? It's fun, interesting, a lot of micro decisions on where to place cards, a lot of high rolls if you get there. We didn't quite get there, but yeah, I think I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for watching. Remember to follow, like, subscribe, all that. I'm on Twitch at Pig Potty. I'm on Twitter at Pig Potty. Thank you so much, guys, and keep snapping.